talking to the mic today.
I don't get any intro music.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode. Sports Life Talk.
You need some intro music?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm happy to do the intro now. We're live without sports. It's just talk. Today we are coming to you live from Casa de Tomas. Chateau.
You want Spanish?
Again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
You gotta mix it up. You gotta change it up.
I'm international. Today we have Serge.
Hello.
Why does it look like that?
I don't know. Then we have me, Gemini
Oh,
Jones.
there it goes.
Then we got Coach KT.
Yep.
And then we have B Jones, Mr. Yeet.
Yeet! How y'all living, man?
It's all dead in here today. I hope y'all liven up.
It's you. You need to bring some energy. You the one that's the host. Let's go.
I'm not what?
Host. H-O-S-T. Okay, hold up now. Let me make sure I can spell it. All right.
And
I'm not charging
teach
you.
and you teach the cheerings. Lord
I'm not
help
charging
us.
you up, Miss Gemini Jones.
Okay, I got an iPad too.
Hey, can I send a couple of shout outs, man?
Go ahead.
Yes, because I need to send one too, but go ahead.
All right, the first shout out, because you notice I said the first. I got to send a shout out to the Lebanon Trails Fighting Trailblazer Marching Band in Frisco, Texas. They went down to San Antonio this past week on Monday and Tuesday and competed for the Class 5A Area B State Championship, and they finished 8th place, but it was the first time that the school had the opportunity to compete, and our school that's only literally a little bit older than 3 years, and so I get the privilege of being one of the band dads, as my daughter is a member of that band, and just a great experience that she had, but they were phenomenal, they were amazing. Personally, I think they should have won it all. F. Cedar Park, F. Highland Park, the teams that they gave it to, F. the judges.
Dang.
I'm not saying the bad words, I'm just
But we
saying we
know
got
you
robbed.
insinuating.
We got robbed, man. Hey, it was literally the best band performance I've ever seen in my life. So, hey.
All right, well,
All right,
congrats.
We don't know where to go from
Man,
there.
get it off your chest.
I needed to, man. That's why I use this to decompress, you know what I'm saying? That's what this is all about, us talking about
I thought that hour drive would have helped that out.
it. Hey, it was definitely an hour. It was definitely an hour. Hey, the chateau is not easy to get to.
Yeah,
And
you
then
know.
the traffic was there for the man's game, that's why.
Oh, yeah, because I got caught in that, so I had to
I didn't
cut
realize
go
until
downtown.
I was like, should have known that.
Hey, speaking of
I got
those
a
games,
schedule better than that.
I know we don't have it on the sheet to talk about, but since it sounds like y'all trying to get some stuff set up, what about Luca and...
Wait. Time out. Before we go there, I thought you had another shout out. You said...
I'm going to give that shout out. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the why Kevin is wearing the maroon color shirt today. I figured we were going to...
Oh,
Talk
okay.
about
Well, let
that.
me give my shout out.
All right, give your shout out. Go for it.
I'd like to shout out to two people that mean the most to me, besides my son on the planet. My parents. I know my mom's not watching because they probably in bed asleep already. But they are celebrating 39 wonderful years of marriage.
Wow.
Today.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to do it big next year for number 40. If, my mama don't kill my daddy before then.
Where are you going with this?
Well, maybe 39.
They made it 39. They might make it 40.
Probably
Yeah.
At least one more.
How do I share this thing, man? How do I share this?
Go to the Sport Life Talk thing.
I am, bro.
And
I'm
hit
on now.
sure.
Yeah, do that for me, man.
And number 2?
Do that for you, man.
Number 2, I only had one shout out.
Oh, I thought
That
you
was
said.
him with the multiple
I
shout
got
outs.
another one. I'm going to throw it out later on. I'm going to throw it out later on. So
Yeah,
we
he
start talking.
has a
Well, y'all got this old fancy phone. How do you share on this?
I don't know. Don't even worry about it.
I got it.
Oh, excuse me, because you got the 11 too.
But anyway, before Pam gave her wonderful shout outs, because that was actually truly a good shout out.
It was.
It was.
I was about to comment on the matchup that was Luka versus LeBron.
Oh, that was awesome.
Was that
Last
not
Friday
crazy?
night?
That was
That
Friday
It sure was.
Did you see it, man?
No.
You can hear in her voice that she didn't see that.
I know. It was being sarcastic.
Golly.
Hey, that was crazy though, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then he backed it up again, and the game after that got another triple double.
So,
LeBron has 3 in a row though.
No, yeah, I think. Luka's Luka's a real deal.
I know, but when did we start mentioning his name in the conversation?
Today.
For
Top 5? You know, it's only one conversation.
Yeah,
We got to have
he's not
top
there
5
yet.
ball
He's not
players.
there
Top
yet.
5,
He's not there yet, but I mean, what does he have to do for y'all to start talking? Is it time? Does he have to play so many games? Is it that we need to see him win a championship, make it to the
no.
playoffs?
He doesn't need to win a championship because there's other top 5 guys
Sure,
that there's top 5 guys in the league right now that haven't won a championship. I mean, outside of Kawhi and LeBron and KD, I mean, James Harden hasn't won one.
That's absolutely right.
Westbrook hasn't won one.
So
Anthony
let me ask you
Davis
this
hasn't
question.
won one. So.
Let me frame it up this way. So if you had to do a draft right now, just picking your team from scratch, and you had these 3 players on the table: Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, and Luka Doncic. Who are you taking in that pick?
How many years do I have them for?
Let's just say 4 years. 4-year deal.
So you said who again?
Damian Lillard,
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, and Luka Doncic. Remember last year
I'm definitely
we
not
all
taking-
had the debate. Wasn't it last year we had the debate over
Yeah, I'm definitely not
Russell
taking
Westbrook and
Westbrook.
Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking Westbrook.
I'm taking Luka, man.
I'm taking Luka too.
But y'all, you do realize, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, that Russell Westbrook is probably he holds the league record for triple doubles in the season. He passed up.
No, I agree, but look what Luka has done. This is on his 2nd season.
That's
He's
what
only
I'm.
20.
I
He
agree.
can't even drink legally.
I'm ready for Luka name to start hitting the conversation, man. I don't think we've seen a player.
Well,
like
first thing, you got to make playoffs. That's an automatic.
Okay.
When you usually come to that, obviously you can talk about talent, but in order to be considered in the top 5, you got to make playoffs. Obviously, I think this year, making the playoffs is a success.
Okay.
Not making the playoffs, I don't want to say it's a failure, but with obviously the Warriors not clearly in the picture, you should take that spot. And so that would be a success. Getting out of the first round possibly, or having an upset, I mean, that's probably realistically could really put him in that conversation, because he's not going to drop off, because he's already been playing with grown men since he was 14, 15.
Yeah.
So Cam coming in last year, I mean, it looked easy for him last year, now that he's in better shape, it looks even easier for him, and he's only 20. I mean, he's 6-7 years away from being in his prime. So that's why I'm like, well, I don't want to rush it to be yeah, he's top 5. Well, yeah, he's got the talent to be top 5 for a whole decade. He had the talent to be top 5.
And what's crazy is rumors about them thinking about getting Chris Paul. I'm like, why?
No,
Would you bring him
that's
to
just
this team?
stupid. Somebody just
And
put
that's
that
what
out
their
there. Just
chemistry, that's just
blowing
ridiculous.
smoke. No, that's just it doesn't even make sense financially. It doesn't fit. I mean, there's so many reasons even if you were just on a 1-year deal, it just doesn't make sense for our team.
What do you think the Mavericks need right now in order to be complete? Because right now, I already feel like they're a top 8 seed.
No, they're
Yeah,
top
they
8
should.
for sure.
Easy
I mean,
7th,
if they
8th right
play consistently and their bench, obviously, probably has outperformed what people thought so far. I've been banging on. I've been talking to friends and stuff like that. I'm like, if we can trade Tim Hardaway, Courtney Lee, and a pick or whatever, and get Bradley Beal, I think that would be the perfect
That'd be a wrap.
complimentary piece
That'd
for
be scary.
So
Luka.
what's the lineup?
Because-
Give me your starting lineup.
So it'd be Luka,
At
Bradley
one.
Beal.
You play Luka at the 1.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you play Luka.
Yeah.
Okay. Luka at 1, Beal at 2.
Luka, Beal, Porzingis.
You gonna put
you know,
Porzingis at the 4 or the 5?
He'd probably, if I put Powell or Kleber in, they'd probably be the 5, and KP would be the 4.
Okay.
And you could put, Seth Curry at the 2 and put Bradley at the 3, because a lot of those guys are all interchangeable parts as far as playing on the wing, and but Bradley Beal plays on both ends. I mean, if he was doing already what he does with John Wall, I can't imagine what he could do if he has Luka and Porzingis on the team. That's easy work. Right now, there's no John Wall. Everybody knows he's going to get the ball. Well, he's still dropping 25 to 30 every game.
He's still ball.
So imagine if he doesn't get double teamed, and so I think
I have
he
a
would be a
question.
perfect piece.
What's up, fam?
What Mavericks game are we gonna try to go to?
Shoot, whichever one you
It's
get
still
hooked up
cheap.
to.
I want to
Whichever
go
one I
watch.
hoop is on
You hook up to work your magic, Gemini.
I want to go watch Brooklyn, but that's obviously
Ooh.
Kyrie. But
Actually, my son told me
January
last
2nd.
night. Yeah, my son told me last night that a friend of his that has a hookup on tickets. I don't know what the hookup is, but
you gotta find out.
Shoot,
But
$5.
he was like, yeah, we no. He was talking about him and her were going. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
what about your mom? You just gonna leave mom out?
Yeah, Mom, what about your mom's crew?
You're lady number 2,
Right?
Number 1.
So November is one of my favorite months because November is no shave month. It refers to an annual charity event where men don't shave, groom, or cut their facial hair for the entire month of November as a way of raising awareness and money to fight cancer. Now, let me just say this. Some of y'all might have a struggle beard. It's okay. You know, struggle beards can get a little love too, but, you know.
Yeah,
Should you really take a shot at people on this one though? I mean, it's November for a good reason.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's okay. Go ahead and grow out that
Low
struggle.
builder.
If you only have one patch of hair on your face, it's okay.
Man, we got one patch. Go on.
I'm face, man. I can't grow no hair on my face, man.
You have hair though.
Nah, I got a goatee, but I can't do the full beard thing. I tried it. It itches all the time. It's
Yeah,
very
that's why you gotta get that
Well,
beard.
for
Well, you gotta.
November, you can't shave though, man. I never
Child,
shave in
please,
November.
man.
You can say,
That's it.
child, please.
Yeah,
I never shave
What
in
you say,
November.
baby? What you say?
Really? You don't? Well, I guess shaving versus trimming. You don't even trim nothing?
No, I
Oh,
just
you
let it
just
grow
let it
out.
grow? Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, I want your wife to chime in on this one if she's
Chime in. Let
listening
'em know.
tonight. If we can get B Jones to not shave for another, well, today already the 6th, so.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how that all started. I mean, I don't honestly know how that started.
Oh.
And what is the real purpose behind it?
It's a charity thing.
I know, but like, how does the charity get involved by me not shaving?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of athletes that grow it out and then they shave and then give it to charity.
Well,
You giving your beard hair to charity?
And
They
this is
give
a
like
company
any kind
called.
of hair, yeah.
This is a company
I
called.
mean, like,
Chrome.
I'm pretty sure
Any
they just
kind of
throw
hair?
it away. I mean,
Oh, okay.
See, that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, I have one of my best friends. He used to grow out his hair, and then when he decided 2 years later he wanted to cut it off, then he'll donate it. But
Right.
that's a little different than just doing it for a month and then what happens. I haven't seen or heard anything.
come December
Literally
1st.
something,
Playboy cutting all that
you
out.
know. But
But I do know it's a company called Cremo, and I'm assuming that they make some type of beard oil that you're
Yeah,
talking
do.
about.
They do.
Now you're
And,
supposed to groom it.
Yeah,
Shampoo
and they give money.
condition and-
They do they give a lot of money because I guess people not buying Cremo during that month, so
Yeah.
they sponsor a whole little beard challenge that a lot of
Interesting.
sports media members of the television central or whatever ESPN people, they all participate and they have a challenge to see who can grow the nicest beard during
Okay,
that
yeah,
time.
grow a
during
nice
those
one.
shit.
Don't grow a little scrag and little.
yeah, I don't think my wife's down with November.
Why not?
She don't like the no shade.
She don't like it like when it gets
Like rough,
really
rough.
really
Yeah.
Santa Claus and shit?
Yeah.
I think I can go like 3 weeks. I mean, I don't obviously shave it. I just trim it
Homeless
off.
man.
Right.
Trim it off, but
Right.
She don't want to be tickled, that what it is.
You know what?
basically, yeah.
The cover athlete this week is Tamika Catchings.
Hey, so
All
that's
right.
back-to-back women now. That's back-to-back WNBA legends.
It is. This is episode 24, titled Catch Up. So, KD, take it away.
Well,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
B.
Gemini Jones.
Man, I'll do it. I'll do
Okay,
it.
go ahead.
I actually, let me think if I got any good Tamika Catchings memories. I did get the opportunity to see them win that national championship when she was a freshman. But if you don't know who Tamika Catchings is, she was part of the one of the most heralded college teams that women's basketball teams under Pat Sumlin.
What is the 3 Meeks?
The 3 Meeks, and it's funny you say that, man. I'm gonna reference that here in a second. But Tamika, throughout her career, she was a WNBA champion, a WNBA Finals MVP, the actual league MVP, 10-time WNBA All-Star, 7-time first team, 5-time second team, 5-time Defensive Player of the Year.
jeez.
Hey, she won a college championship. She was the Naismith. She won Player of the Year for all women. Accolade on top of accolade, but after doing some mild research, I just can't come to the show, butt naked without knowing anything about
Please
these
don't ever
people.
come here butt naked.
Please
I ain't
don't.
no lie.
Trust me, I thought about it. It was no shade November, so hey, but I found out some interesting facts about her, so I put them on the docket. Number one,
Right.
did y'all know that she was born with a hearing impairment?
Yes, I did.
I didn't
Did
know
not.
I
that.
didn't know
No.
that.
I didn't know that. Now she has some kind of
She has a speech impediment too.
I didn't know about speech.
Yeah, so if you ever hear her talk, you can kind of hear it, but she's gotten better at it.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know if they hid it or if they just chose not to talk about it or focus on it, but
Right.
No,
she
they
has,
talk about it.
she has a
They talk
hearing
about it.
impairment, and now she represents a lot of organizations and charities and things like that, raising fundraisers. The second thing is, did y'all know that she was from Duncanville, Texas?
Yes,
I
Right
did.
down in the
I
I
street.
didn't know that
You didn't know
either.
that? Yeah, she
No.
was going to
I didn't know this either.
Mhm.
I think you a WNBA fanatic though, kind of.
I just love basketball, man. So.
And plus,
I
you're
can-
from this side of town, so it's probably a little bit more.
Right.
All right, and the last one. Did you know that she tried out for American Ninja Warrior
That I
season
knew.
11? You
That
did.
I
I did not know
Yes, I did know that.
Man,
I did know that because it was like something social media, obviously, just people talking about it or whatever that she was.
How did she do, man?
No, I don't know how she did. I just know that they showed like a teaser that she was gonna be on the show. That's all.
They aired.
So I
They
know
supposedly aired her whole run. I'm assuming she.
I'm pretty sure we'll go to YouTube and we'll be able to watch
pretty
it.
much.
Wow.
All right, B. Jones, you got a trivia.
Yes.
question.
So Kevin previously mentioned the 3 Meeks. So as a freshman, she went on to win a national title at the University of Tennessee. Her and 2 other players were coined the name the Meeks. Name the 2 other volunteers who were part of the trio known as the Meeks.
I almost gave it away earlier. I'm glad you said
I already know one.
Tamika and Trunika.
Why
I don't know. I just made those.
Close with no cigar.
I know one for sure.
I knew one.
The other one is she used to be so bad too. Like
she was a monster.
She was a monster.
You know, you guys in this month are making me wish that I had.
Facial hair.
That I had developed a love for basketball.
Well, it's never too late.
Yeah, I mean, your
Yeah,
son is playing, so you should be able to develop something.
It should go hand in hand. Like you watch it from someplace, so when you watch like
That's
WNBA and regular
No.
NBA,
And then you talking about some
No,
Mavericks.
time out. I'm
You talking about the
playing.
play? Oh. It's never too late. Go out there and
No,
play.
no, these knees
I
are old.
played in a long time.
I mean,
Play
I might
every
walk
day.
to the door and be out of breath.
When y'all gonna do the race against each other? The sprint.
Yeah, she's talking about she can beat me.
Oh, I have my house shoes today. I don't have my tennis shoes. Why are you starting stuff?
You know what?
I'm in training.
Hey, January, whenever January, some week in January, I'm racing you. You gonna get smoked too.
Man,
I
whatever.
cannot wait to see this.
Where's my video that I said I was gonna play for you today? Cause blah blah blah.
Well, if you do just so happen to be one of the few people out there who know the Meeks,
Yes.
then you get a Sports Life Talk T-shirt on me. You hear me? Whatever team of color of choice. Kevin got on one. See me rocking the hoodie, the vintage.
Oh, I wanna.
Wait, is that a Redskins color?
It's close to it.
Well, no. Okay, so the reason I got this shirt because y'all remember Joanna Ellis from Dawson that won the shirt. Her family, they're all Aggies. So on Saturday, we went to College Station.
Okay.
And so, I had to represent.
Yeah.
So I am officially, I found my second team in college.
You're an Aggie fan.
That was the best experience
Yeah.
I've ever had. That was my first time going to a college football game. In fact, it was an SEC team, and everybody we sat around, man, they were so cool. It was like, and they got so many traditions that you gotta. It was a whole bunch. It was awesome.
So they play Florida.
They played UTSA.
They played.
No, I know. I'm saying when they play
When they
Florida,
play Florida,
you would be obviously
You're
going
a
to Florida,
Gator,
right?
I'm a Gator.
Okay.
First. But if I went to the game,
Is it going to be half color in
Right.
the room?
no, it'd be full
Right.
blue. But I sure wouldn't sit in the section that we were in because it was aggied out.
Hang it out.
Man, the time to get on the Aggies was when Johnny Manziel was playing.
Johnny Manziel. But I tell you what, man. I was embarrassed as an LSU fan, low key, and trust me, I love the home field advantage we have in the Red Stick and at Death Valley. But LSU fans, we throwing urine balloons and turning over porta potties.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Y'all nasty.
Yeah, they pretty. Hey, we raw down there on the boot, man. Don't come in there wearing like no Alabama.
You going to
jersey.
Tuscaloosa this weekend?
Nah, I'm not going to Tuscaloosa.
What if you had free tickets? Would you go?
Serge got the hook.
No.
That's what it sounded like.
Right.
I'm just
Well, yeah.
putting it out
Let's
there.
see what
I
you
want
think.
to see how much of not how much of a fan, because I know you're a fan, but how crazy would you like it to be to where you would like to go? Like how if you got free tickets, would you go?
It's going to Kyle Field this past weekend was one of my top 10 on my bucket list. Like when the invitation was extended, there was like not even a second thought. I just needed to make arrangements to go to this game because you see the 12th man on television.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium, which is in Tuscaloosa, but I do want to see LSU play Alabama, if that makes sense. So if they bring their game, when they do bring the game back to Baton Rouge, I probably will go to that game.
So you wouldn't want to go watch it in Alabama?
I think the only thing that I don't know if I ever get a chance to do is watch the Saints in the Super Bowl. That would be number one bucket list experience as far as sports. Number two would be LSU Alabama in Death Valley.
And I'm trying to go to a Florida game eventually in Florida. Any game.
Well, I was about to say you could definitely catch them when they come out here to play Texas A&M. That wasn't a bad ride at all.
It wasn't a bad ride, but man, the experience and the way that the Ellises took care of us.
The Ellises, shout out to
How come
Ellis.
you didn't invite nobody else?
Because there wasn't enough tickets.
So let me tell y'all before we move on about this experience. You remember I told you I had a second shout out?
Yes.
So shout out number 2 goes to the Texas A&M traditions, and I got a couple of friends who were Texas A&M Aggies, and I've been raving to them, and they literally were so excited that I got the opportunity to experience this event with them. But they got this point in their chants, so they do chants for everything. I mean, literally, it's always a chant.
And we didn't realize how much they really hate Texas.
Wait, time out. So y'all went.
Yeah.
Did you go?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, continue.
Oh, it's not it.
So anyway, it's this point in
Say what?
it's a point in this chant they got in this song. So they sing this song, and it's this point to where, like, literally, no matter who you sitting next to or who you standing at, you put your hand on the person on the side of you in the back, right? Y'all kind of locked in, and you got to put your left foot forward and your right foot to the back. But the way it is, my left foot had to go in front of the other person in front of me, right foot. Now we close count. I mean, we close, we right up on each other, and then we start going back and forth like a saw in motions. And they chant "Saw off the horns of varsity," talking about the UT, the University of Texas Longhorns. But it's crazy because when you look around this whole stadium, there is not any individual standing by them. I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, green, orange. It don't matter. You hugging the person next to you, and you about to do the saw. And it was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. The unity, the diversity, the energy to have that. And I mean, when you look, literally 70, 80,000 people doing this at one time. It was bananas, nuts.
That's pretty wild.
Sorry, maybe one day we'll check it out. Just need it.
Yeah.
No,
if there's an invite, I guess we'll.
Shots fired.
Hey, holla at my boy Hugh, man. He hooked us up.
But also,
we don't know Hugh. No, y'all.
No, one last thing though. Their halftime show, nobody leaves to go use the restroom or a concession.
Well, that's good.
And the band, I'm used to seeing Southern and Grambling get down, but this band, hey,
it's a beast.
Hey.
Did they play some Earth, Wind, and Fire?
No.
Let's groove tonight.
But if you would have got up and like moved around when the band was going on, people would have been like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
What are you doing?
Like,
They asked you to sit down.
Sit your ass down.
Oh wow.
I gotta go use the restroom.
You probably would have been in a little scuffle by the time you got up to the walkway.
Well, again, search, maybe we'll check it out one day. All right, so
we'll talk about that off.
Kick-off question for the cast. We already 20 minutes in, but that's okay. Trent Williams revealed that he had cancer. He says the team doctors failed to test a cancerous tumor on his head for 6 years before he was diagnosed.
But here's the thing though. 6 years?
Yeah, that sounds kind of.
Yeah, it couldn't be what was it? It wasn't benign. Benign is when it's not cancerous, right?
Yes.
So it couldn't be anything. 6 years?
It sounds very. Timing is a little sketchy for me. Why? I don't know. I don't know what the agenda is. Is it because he's older? He's just like, whatever. But I was a little taken back. I guess he tried to put it on the Redskins, right? That he had this issue, but nobody helped him out.
Yeah. Okay. This is my problem with that. We all know that when you enter into a certain tax bracket and you start having different levels of insurance that go along with your body, it go along with, even matter of fact, each one of these teams have to have physicals for you to come back every year. You can't even go out there and play without a physical. I find it hard to believe that this team failed to give him a thorough checkup for 6 years. Yeah. That just it's not believable at all.
It just sounds
unless it's some random test that nobody's being tested for.
It's hard to take it at face value.
Yeah,
right? I want to see some tests. Can I see some doctors come in and talk about it as far as what did they see and what this looks like it's been there a long time. Maybe not 6 years, but even if you just say it's been there a long time, multiple years, I can go with what he's saying. But if you just say that, I don't.
But then you should even be going to the doctor on your own. I find it hard to believe you never had a headache, you never had any symptoms of anything that would have at least perpetuated the fact that you would be like, hey, I need to get something's off.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm not sleeping well, I'm snoring, something.
A tumor in your head, you think when you would have some type of
do
symptoms.
some x-rays.
And it's not like you ain't got money to go get the help either.
Exactly.
You know, outside of the insurance itself.
So if that's the case, if we all call him BS, right? Then why would he come out and say something like this?
To make
I guess when you say something about cancer, people start to notice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but why would you even want to trigger that type of intention, man? I mean, what y'all got that Jesse,
didn't
that
he
Jesse,
say
what is
this?
it? The smoke,
Smollett.
yeah.
Didn't he say this right around the trade deadline too, though?
Yes,
So
he said it after the trade deadline. So he wasn't traded, and then he came out and said, hey, this was my beef with the organization the whole time. So he came out with this like last Wednesday. Trade deadline was last Tuesday.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a serious thing, but you're a Redskin, so.
Hey.
Whatever.
Wow. B. Jones, your wife said grow a beard.
So we gonna do this? All right, we'll try it out. Man, when I come to him looking like
It's laying down the law now.
She mentioned something about.
She said, I think it's for a great cause if they can grow a beard. So look, she said, you can grow a beard. So she's saying, yeah.
She just said you
She
did.
just said, yeah. She said, no to the struggle beard, though.
We already 6 days in. I ain't finna do that.
struggle beard.
She did mention something about that though.
She did. I'll just bring you some beard oil, some good old coconut oil or something.
I'll just get you some fake beard.
A sewn beard.
Just put it on November 30th and be like, see?
Alright, what's
So
next?
Surge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, why is it?
You got to what? You ain't got to pull it up, so no. That's why I'm trying to help you out. Good grief.
Teammate.
All right, Surge.
Yes,
Tell us
sir.
about your fantasy life, man. What we got going on this week?
The
fantasy
The
life.
football.
Yeah,
fantasy.
football. Not what
Not
you
the
been
other
doing.
fantasy. Not what y'all do on the weekends.
Off air. Fantasy life this week, obviously with, there's Deshaun Jackson is obviously out for, I would say out for the season.
He done.
Yeah, he's out.
He out for the fantasy season at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's obviously a couple of guys that are on the, waiver wire. I know, what's his name that got traded to the Cardinals?
Kenyon
Drake.
Kenyon Drake. He was, nobody really saw that he was, I think he's still available in like over 40, 50 leagues.
But the thing with that,
I know David Johnson will come
and
back.
the other guy, they're all coming back this week.
Yeah, but once you come back with a back injury, anybody who's who understands the anatomy of these injuries, back injury ain't no easy one to come back from. Even if he does come back, he won't be 100%.
I would be so scared.
Now, will Kenyon Drake get that type of massive amount of touches and opportunities? I doubt it. But he's still going to be I think he's a valuable handcuff, at least to the minimum.
And then a lot of people dropped Josh Gordon, but he's obviously going to be playing come next week, so he's going to be another pick. Waiver. I think he's going to immediately make an impact, just like Emmanuel Sanders got traded to the 49ers, immediately made that impact. There's really, usually injuries is what allows other players to kind of come in and start making impact or whatever. But right now, everything seems pretty sturdy. Teams that are supposed to take care of business, for the most part, take care of business, except for the Jets who lost to the Dolphins, which is you can go either way on that. I guess.
Speaking of which, that's my fantasy sleeper of the week goes to Mike Gesicki. Have you heard this guy out of Miami?
Yeah,
with Fitzmagic throwing the ball a little bit more. And actually, even in some of these losses that the Dolphins have had, they hadn't really been a bad looking team. Let me take that back. That was probably ill worded. They looked bad and they took L's, but they shown signs of life. They've shown signs that they could have stole 2 or 3, especially if they don't go for a 2-point conversion.
It's called tanking.
Against they are 100% tanking, is what I'm starting to think. And
tanking for Tua.
But Mike Gesicki, hey, look out for him if he's on your waiver wire. I'm pretty sure he is. That's probably a great addition to make to your team because I think he's going to get 6 to 7, maybe even 8 targets a week.
I think Darius Geis,
Darius Geis will be back.
Come back as well.
There it is. We got it. Where the bell is? Bing. LSU. We got it in, man. We got it in.
On to the next topic.
Alright, Twitter users call out 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Okay. For
Or Jimmy
flirtatious
G.
flirtatious remark towards Erin Andrews. During a post-game interview, Andrews asked him how it felt to keep, the winning streak going, and his answer has Twitter abuzz. I love how you write this. With several hilarious tweets. Andrews asked him how it felt to be undefeated, and his response was, "It feels great, baby. Happy Halloween."
What's flirtatious about
Right.
He just,
It was the way he said it and the look he gave her right
and they both start smiling afterward too. But you know she's married though.
What?
She's married.
I know she is, but it wasn't one of those like, hey, like I'm interested or whatever. It was already like we've had something in the past before. That's the vibe that I got. That's just me.
Have you seen it?
I didn't see it. I mean,
I saw it and I can see how I was taking that way, but I'm just thinking that he was just excited in the moment. And of course, Erin Andrews is not a bad looking woman.
No, and she blush.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know.
Okay, so maybe they did have a little thing back in the day or something. I don't know.
Because I guarantee if Mr. Andrews come looking for him, I don't think she got them hands.
Sure, his offensive line dude though.
That dude was crazy enough to go through the peephole to see her, remember?
Y'all remember preseason last year, though, he had a little something going on with a porn star.
Yeah, and people were tripping all that.
People tripped hard on that.
Wow.
But
Jimmy G's the king of shooting his own shot, man. That dude just shoots a
shot.
shot.
Would they say you miss all the shots that you don't take? I mean, what happened?
I think we had talked about this when we first started Sports Live, talked about Erin Andrews in that case.
Yeah.
With the guy.
Yeah.
She got like 60, 70 million.
She got broke off
from who?
I think the hotel, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wow.
Didn't she sue like the hotel and everything too, and the man?
I thought it was just the guy.
I do remember that.
Maybe it was the hotel too, but I know
I can see her suing the hotel.
Yeah, because it was actually
Yeah, because
a
how would
hole
you
where
get
he was
$60
looking
million
through.
from,
I mean, 60, 70. How do you quantify?
Is that factual? We
No,
seriously.
Oh, no, that's serious.
60 million?
It's I can't put a number on it. It's definitely over 50. Guaranteed.
Speaking of 60 million, if y'all had AT&T, y'all gonna get y'all little $9 check from that $60 million settlement that they got, that fine they got hit with and stuff, and they gonna send everybody a check for that. So y'all look out for your $9.32.
I'm putting it right in my pocket.
Alright, ball is life. Even though we kind of talked a little ball is life prior, but Zion is out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
You made that face.
Yeah, because this is one of those things that Zion, in my opinion, was probably one of the main marquee stories going into the year. It was kind of like you had the Battle of LA, and then you had Zion. Kind of all of that happening all at one time, and to have him out for these first 2 months it's just been dreadful. The team is playing sub 200 ball, I think, like 1-6.
Yeah.
And we can't get a win. Even in the games when we play close, we can't get a win. I am happy about Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
Brandon Ingram is stepping up. So when we get Zion back, and we'll get Holiday, get him back, get him going. This team might be worth its salt. But right now,
it's kind of like a blessing in disguise that Zion got hurt to be able to see Brandon Ingram what he's capable of.
Right.
Because I think if Zion was playing, he'd always be, I don't want to say featured, but he'd definitely be getting, majority of the touches, and Brandon Ingram probably wouldn't. But now that Alvin Gentry is able to see that, he'll be able to bring Zion in and figure out where they, fit on the floor. Because Lonzo, I really expected a jump also this year, but he hasn't really.
He had a couple of good games.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
his minutes was up because of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, he's
been
his whole career.
Yeah, I don't think Lonzo was going to be that guy, and I want him to be that guy. So, but what I really want though is the other ball.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
I want us to tank for LaMelo. So can we start?
Maybe
tank for LaMelo.
Maybe LeVar.
All right, everybody.
I didn't know what that was. I was about to run out there. It's not a sound coming from my crib.
Sorry.
But the one thing they are saying on Twitter is they're kind of comparing Zion to Greg Oden already.
Fake move.
You wish.
Zion's going to be the truth.
All he has to do is play more than 3 seasons.
Well, that's true. And
Right.
we know he will, but he has to get his weight under control too, though.
He does.
Oh, dude, he'll just wait,
You
man.
can't be 280 and 6'6".
How much did LeBron weigh coming out?
He didn't weigh no 280.
He probably weighed 240, 245,
Yeah.
and he's taller.
Yeah, he's tall. He's a little bit tall.
Right? So think about you're shorter, but way more, not just a little bit more.
Man, people
way
coming
more.
back from high ankle sprains in 3 to 4 weeks.
What they got to do with being an
The
overweight
game to
basketball
change.
player?
The game to change.
Not overweight.
He is.
Yeah, but
He's
the
6'6",
one thing
280.
about the game that doesn't change is like your body and what it can take. I mean, you see guys once they get older, you know, they don't honestly, like even LeBron, he doesn't go into the line. I mean, he doesn't drive to the basket like he used to and just trying to dunk it on people.
LeBron 40 years old almost, man.
What I'm
He's
saying
17
is,
years
even
old.
he's trying to be smart about
Absolutely.
not doing that, right? Because obviously when he was in Cleveland the first time around, and then early years in Miami, but once that kind of chapter closed, he stopped doing that because he knows that's a lot of banging on your knees with that much weight coming down your knees. Like that's something. If you play faster, I mean the Pelicans are probably one of the top 3-4 teams pace wise. You're running up and down the courts. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of.
What you really cheesing for?
That's a lot
That's
of.
gonna be the truth, man.
That's a lot of weight. I mean, and torque going on his leg. I mean, he's explosive. I mean, he's jumping back to back to back to get rebounds and putting it back and dunking it. That's where I don't
get
agree.
cybernetic implants in his knees, man. He'll be alright.
Wow. Can I get that?
About 15 to 20 pounds, man. He'd be alright.
Yeah, he got to lose that, man.
He's
You
good.
know he gonna lose that. You know, everybody come here in the league. with
They
that.
said that they're not going to do anything to him, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see when he gets back on the court.
All right, so let me ask y'all this. All right, so fill in the blank. If Kawhi brings a ring to LA before LeBron is blank to LA.
Dead.
Whoa.
Mm.
Don't know why y'all didn't listen to me.
Because that was his whole thing. He said,
Unproven.
Ooh, I like that one.
Nice word.
Unproven in LA. You said
Yeah.
in LA.
Yeah.
Unproven.
Yeah, I would say
Not goatish in Lakers history, at least. You can't take away everything that he's already
I was
done.
gonna say
but
unfulfilled.
yeah,
He's unfulfilled. Because he came in and I don't want to say he promised the ring, but he pretty much say, hey, I'm coming to LA to win championships. And
but he would have said that regardless of where he went.
yeah, but that's a skin on the wall. Well, when you go to Title Town,
Of course.
you know,
Hey, I agree.
that's just how I go. When you go to LA, you go to Boston, you go to New York.
Because he could have.
Yeah.
He could have. I mean, a lot of people thought that he probably could have and should have gone to Philly because it would have been an easier way
yeah, they
to
go
get a
to Philly, that's
championship.
wrap.
No,
Like I
he,
said,
They ran to the East.
yeah. But I don't know.
it would have been an easier way to go get a championship. But
Yeah.
he didn't want to go that route. He chose LA knowing there's a lot of young guys there, not knowing if we could get who and who and who. But he took the risk and he got a 4-year window to. All he has to do is bring one. So whether Kawhi gets it first, but if the year after LeBron gets it, I mean, I don't think it necessarily changes anything.
You think Kawhi can get a ring this year? You think that team will win?
It's either going to be one of the LA teams going to win the ring.
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah.
I
don't
said
know.
I need one
Mavericks
guy.
too.
I need one
If
guy.
everybody
I would
stays
love
healthy,
for the
one of the
Mavericks
LA
to win.
teams is winning.
I would love for the match. And one thing about LeBron, and I think D Wade, don't their son playing on the same team now or something like that?
Yes, they do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do know they'll be in Duncanville. I don't know if it's Thanksgiving.
29,
Thanksgiving
30,
break.
yeah.
Wow. That team gonna be
Those
packed out.
tickets, the first set of 1,000 tickets or whatever sold out in like 5 minutes.
To a high school game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanksgiving
Because it's gonna be
weekend too,
it's
not
gonna be a
just
lot of
any
good
day.
teams besides them. Yeah.
So the only ticket that I saw were all the tickets for Saturday are sold out already, within a matter of hours. And then the only tickets I could try to go get was for Friday, and I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm doing that weekend, so I can't just make that with $20 because all the other tickets are already sold out. All the premium seats are sold out. $100 tickets
I
sold
wish
out.
you had
$50
bought the
tickets.
tickets and would have flipped them.
Well, their website actually crashed. That's how
Wow.
fast people were buying it.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be a great sport.
So, it's not just those kids. I mean, there's a lot of other top
I'll catch it on
2022, 2023 kids that's going to be out there playing. So,
YouTube. I'll watch it on YouTube.
Real quick.
how quick? Fast or?
You can go back if you want to. But Basketball Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal has donated a home to an Atlanta woman
Yeet
whose
worthy.
12-year-old son was shot at a football game and paralyzed from the chest down. O'Neal told a TV station that Isaiah Payton's family was living in a one-bedroom apartment that wasn't accessible for people with disabilities. But they now have a home in a good neighborhood. He said he is helping to furnish the home and will pay its rent for the next year.
That's
So,
good.
That's amazing.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's-
Shaq, you my guy, man. One of
Yeah.
my top favorite athletes. There's nothing more I can say.
People.
But
people.
That's
He
just
just
saying.
But one thing I do hope, and I know that he donated. I hope it's because he said he's paying the rent on, I guess, the mortgage or whatever for a year.
Yeah,
I
that's
hope
what
it's something that she can
Afford.
Yeah, they
sustain
can afford.
afterwards. I mean, either the rent or if he bought it, like the taxes, whatever the case is. So
Yeah, hopefully
I
they
hope-
just got to pay the taxes, if anything. 'Cause that's.
yeah, well, it says rent here, so I don't know if he rented it for or bought it or.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
it's a great gesture, but you do have to think past that year.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they thought about that. There's no possible way, you would put
He's
somebody in
smart
that type of
individual.
situation. Yeah, because I guarantee the way you made front page with this, Shaq, this guy is so good, he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I promise you, if that woman get kicked out of her house in a year to 2 years,
Like, come on, Shaq, what happened?
yeah, that's gonna
Right.
be front page.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Papa John commercial.
Not Papa John commercial. All right, so the Washington Nationals are throwing a parade for one of the most World Series type. Oh, they do World Series. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that was last
I
week.
was like Washington Nationals. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Anyway, so they're throwing a parade for that. The Capitals are just a year removed from breaking through to win the Stanley Cup, as well as the Washington Mystics. Just enjoyed one of the most dominating seasons in the NBA. I mean WNBA. Sorry.
Well, let me help you out before you even continue down this road. The Redskins will win the championship for two, because they're not gonna win the game. So you can hang that up. And and the Wizards, right? They won't bust a grape. They won't. Yeah. Matter of fact, the other W word is gonna be winless. So,
Winless Wizards?
yeah, winless Wizards. They won't bust a grape in the fruit fight, man.
Tank for LaMelo.
Tank for LaMelo. Yeah. So you can go ahead and kill that narrative right then. They maxed out on what they gonna do.
Hey, but
that's okay.
three
It's
is a
impressive.
lot.
Three is good, and it's the
And usually
first
it's
in
only in
history
Boston.
for each franchise.
Hey, you know
So
what? They got a high school team. I think it's called St. John's. It's a high school team that's nationally ranked too. So they have an opportunity, and they've been on national television playing some big schools.
It's hard to get, 3 championships in the same calendar, like within a calendar year in the same city. I mean, LA and Boston are really the only teams or cities that can.
Who won MLS Cup? DC United. I know they won it. Were they?
You tell me, I shall not do it. But the one thing about this story is on the Washington Nationals social media page, they had a picture of the Capitals guy and the Nationals, but they forgot to put a Mystic on there.
Oh yeah, I heard about the
And so then
backlash.
one WNBA player was like, well, damn,
We won too.
We won too.
right.
So that's one of the reasons why we put that one on.
And just for the fans' knowledge point, the Seattle Sounders are playing the Toronto Football Club on 11/10 at 2
So
p.m.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the final
So that's the final. Okay.
Yeah, it's for the
So-
championship. It's for the
So they could have 4 potentially.
Well, no, because
No, yeah, they're out. They're out. So yeah, you're right.
So,
All right, do y'all you want to go back to some of this other stuff?
Well, I saw this on Facebook. It's on one of these sports groups I'm in, and somebody had a question saying, who was better in their prime, Dwight Howard or Anthony Davis?
yeah, whoever asked that need to be shot, and social media need to be turned off. Period. There should be no. There's not even like. Move on to the next subject.
Oh, okay.
So Anthony Davis, right?
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he's.
Dwight Howard, I think, will be probably the most overrated player in history.
Whoa.
Now, when he was in Orlando, now don't act like he didn't get
Oh,
that.
he
No.
got down, but I don't
That
think he ever
7-8
fulfilled.
year run, you can't. 3-time defensive player of the year. I mean, dude was
And
averaging
he got that team to
24
the
and
finals.
12 every year, and it's not like they were like not making the playoffs. No, they
This is
beat
my problem
LeBron's
with
team
Dwight
in
Howard.
09.
This is my problem with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was, I remember before we had stretch 5 or the stretch 4, that you would move a power forward into a center position, right? That's what Dwight Howard essentially was before they labeled it this way, right? Well, now the game is totally converted to where a 6'10", 6'11", light, fast, score should dominate the game, and Dwight Howard has never really excelled. Now, I mean, I'll give you that, but he's played on some real trash teams with those numbers. When he played on really good teams, what was his numbers? And I don't know, and I'm asking you this.
Orlando is the only realistic team
And that was
outside
his
the
team,
Rockets
and
that he played. But every season that he was in the league, when he came in, he was dominating. I'm talking about dominating. He was arguably, he was definitely top 5 player in the league when in his prime. in Orlando.
Ooh.
I mean, he took him to the finals.
I can't.
I mean,
I can't subscribe.
You can't
I
even
do
really.
agree. He did take him to the finals.
Unless you're a true fan, you can't even name the other guys that are on
I
this
can't
team,
name the other guys
right?
on that team.
And so,
Jameer Nelson.
That's right.
yeah, Rashard Lewis, Peaches,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's because
Oh,
watching it and stuff like that. But no, Dwight. But I still don't think overall talent. I think the biggest knock on Dwight is. He never really took his post game seriously enough to have different moves and things like that, right?
And he had guys trying to help him. He had Kareem and
Hakeem Olajuwon trying to help him.
Yeah.
But I gotta give him props. I didn't really see him. I knew he was gonna make a difference, but not like what he's so far. Now it's early in the season, but he's playing really, really well. Starring in his role, as they would say. Giving them. Yeah, I mean he's had back-to-back double-doubles. 14 and 13 coming off the bench. All he does is play the entire second quarter and majority of the fourth quarter, and that's all he does. And I mean, he's playing defense and getting rebounds and putbacks, and so we'll see. I mean, this is going to be able to. I mean, he's playing on a non-guaranteed contract, which is only paying him $500,000 or something. So he's really playing for the love of the game and knowing that this is his last chance. If he doesn't play well now, he's done. But Anthony Davis. Overall, from top to bottom, talent, agility, offensively, defensively, all around game. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's really a competition there.
Also, Dwight is a closet freak.
Yes.
Why you look at me when you say that?
So we heard.
Why you look at me though? You trying to?
Dwight is supposedly
Okay.
has a fetish for.
For what?
Men that have decided to, become women. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's what they say, huh? That's what they say.
What's that? Kylie? What that? Kardashian? What's the Kris Jenner? No.
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn.
Bruce.
No, Caitlyn.
Bruce. He likes the Bruce / Caitlyn's.
Bruce Lee.
I can't with y'all.
Yeah,
that's his fetish.
To each his own, but hey, do your thing.
I can't.
I do want to talk about what we had going on in our own text about the kid in the hair. Who posted that?
What kid in the hair?
The one that had the long hair.
Oh yeah, I
And
posted
then he
it.
went.
They cut it off.
yeah,
He went
yeah,
to sit down with his dad.
Yeah,
and
they
dad
cut it off.
all of it off.
So let me say this, and I said, I've been through that before. So,
Well, first off, tell people what you're talking about.
so there was a kid that, I guess he looked fairly young.
Yeah.
I don't know, 6,
Probably,
7.
Yeah, between 5 and
8.
Yeah, and his hair was pretty long.
I mean,
I-
pretty long.
Apparently-
Like
Charlie Long.
exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, apparently he had been growing his hair probably since birth.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And I guess he went to his dad's house on that first 3rd and 5th weekend. And dad decided to take him to the barbershop and cut it off. And did
Enough is enough.
and cut it like orange hair, like low.
Shorter, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you got like a 3 ounce
Not
chop.
like an end trim, with
Yeah, nice little edge up though.
he did, but
Can you see him though, sitting up there, putting the oil in there, trying to comb his
but
his
you've
son
been doing
up?
it but at this point, but he didn't consult with the mom
And
because
That's the problem right here.
Here lies the problem.
clearly she might have been growing it for a reason. He might have I don't really know the full story, but I will say this. Back when my son was young, his dad used to cut his hair. And for some reason it was a couple weeks that went by or whatever. And so this is back when the kids were really wearing the mohawks, the mohawks first came out.
Yeah.
And it was my son's birthday. And I took him to the barbershop and he got a mohawk, y'all.
Yeah.
It was so cute. So
Yeah.
cute. He had his little
He was
birthday
hot?
party.
Were you hot?
So hold on.
She got to finish the story.
So we had the birthday party, I want to say, on Saturday afternoon. And then that evening, Saturday evening, he
How
went
old?
to his dad. He was in the 2nd grade or 3rd grade, something like that.
Okay. So
Went to his dad. Now, mind you, those mohawks were expensive. I mean, it wasn't like a normal haircut. You had to pay a little extra for that. So he came back on Sunday and he walked through the door and the boy had no hair.
Whoa.
His dad had cut off the mohawk that I had just paid for. And you want to know what the excuse was that he told me? He said, and I quote, "It looked like he was about to get lice."
What?
That's the best excuse he can come up with.
How does it look like Somebody is about to get lice.
Was it a good haircut though?
Man, it was cute. I'm gonna have to show y'all a picture. It was really cute, and
I
clearly
don't-
there was
I don't
no
see
lice
how
because he had
Mohawks
just come
look
from the
good on
barbershop.
most people.
Yeah.
I think he
Especially
was
when
trying to
they're
get
young.
under your skin with that
He
one.
was, and
Yeah,
when I tell
especially
you I
when they're
marched
young.
right on down them steps, and yeah, that was
Mm.
back in my wild years, and I
So
proceeded to go off because I
Put
was
some
very
hands on
upset.
them.
Not that time.
We've heard about you and your hands.
But I was very upset. Ooh, do I have a story for y'all?
Wait, was your son upset?
Yeah,
Like,
he
did
was.
he, like,
He was.
Man, I really like my haircut.
I mean, he was young at the time.
I
You know,
know.
you don't really go up against daddy, but he was a little
I
sad.
meant not like obviously going up against you. I'm like,
Yeah, but
feeling
he
wise,
was sad. He was very sad. So y'all, quick side note. So we know that episode where I revealed that there was a basketball game and there may or may not have been
You found the video.
No, but a friend of mine, her daughter now goes to that school. And so she texted today and she said, you know you were the example at the basketball meeting last night, right? I said, what do you mean? So apparently when they started talking about parent code of conduct, another parent brought up, yeah, because I think the coaches had said something about, you know, parents, please control your tempers when dealing with other coaches and teams and other parents. And she said that this parent brought up, well, yeah, because last year there was this big brawl and this one mom did this and did that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, at least you're famous.
And that's what I told her. I said, I'm a little famous.
Well, yeah, but you also
Somebody has
they
to
didn't
agree.
give the full story of like why you did it.
I got a
Exactly.
T-shirt for anybody who can provide that.
Hopefully there is.
Can we go do a show at the school?
No.
Tell them what really happened.
So speaking of, I
I
just
don't
wanted
think
to
she allowed
throw
to
that
do
in there. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. But back to the haircut. Now, I don't think it was really, I mean, because...
Did your son ever get a mohawk after that?
No.
No.
No. Because he kept cutting his hair after that. So he went back to cutting his hair.
What about now? Who cuts his hair now?
Now he goes to a barber. Now he gets whatever he wants. I mean, he's 17.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's just crazy, man. Why would you cut? Look at that kid's hair. Like you said, it was long.
I mean, but there's nothing, it wasn't, all you have to do was brush it and put it in a ponytail.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
just
not
didn't
like
they
it
just-
was,
But that's it's way.
it
out of
wasn't even
line.
curly or anything.
I mean-
it was just, yeah.
Did he not was he not there at the birthday party? The
No,
dad?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, he was mad at you.
He was a
Yeah,
little.
Yeah, something happened, and then
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, okay.
He was trying to get
I'll
at
show
you by
you.
doing
Yeah,
that.
he was. Because I
Oh.
paid a good $30 for that mohawk.
See,
You know.
there's a lot more underlying.
Well,
reasons.
mohawk, that's what I'm saying. That's when they were first out and they were extra.
No, I don't know why. Where's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to send y'all a
I
picture.
think we got
That's a regular haircut price.
No.
I could have gave him a
No.
mohawk about $250.
Two-
All right, so
$2.50?
I don't know if y'all heard about this, but California sleep is important.
It absolutely 100% is.
Yes.
And it's one
Wait,
of the
they're
things.
moving up the time from like instead of 7:30 to like 9 kind of
Yeah,
thing?
something like that.
And then are they extending it out?
Yeah, I
Further
forgot
in
to
later
say
on?
as well.
As I continue down my weight loss journey, there is not one article, there is not one doctor that you can find that will not tell you that sleep is probably one of the top 3 things. Water consumption is going to be number 1 we can do
Correct.
to preserve our bodies, and sleep is number 2. The fact that we as a society feel like, oh, well, you know, sleep is for the dead,
Right.
you are actually hurting yourself and really
Big time.
reducing your lifespan
Anytime.
Right.
by staying up all night and then getting up at the crack of dawn. Oh, I gotta go work out. I gotta
Yeah.
do all that. That's not the key. The key, Sway, is to get your 8 hours in a day because your body will function
A
better.
minimum of 7.
It has to reset. It has to reset. It has to repair and it has to rebuild. All of that happens in your sleep.
Okay, all of that is true, but take your butt to sleep at night too, and then you can
You know,
wake up in
yes.
the morning.
Hey, now I agree with you. I
Yes.
agree with you. But the fact that we feel as a society like money never sleeps.
Right.
Where are they doing this?
California.
California.
They're starting this already or about to start?
I think it's about to start.
They passed a law though? Or you're saying it's like something that was a
Well,
law?
I just saw the story that said that they're pushing back school time, so it may have already started.
You think it hasn't? That's
Now my question is, why just kids can't go to sleep earlier?
That's what I'm saying. You just take your butt.
yeah, that's automatically. But I guess I'm just trying to think like, is California trying to do it so that they're trying to stay with times of Central Time and Eastern Time? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Now, see, that would make a little sense, but hey, we survived doing it, so yeah.
Well, you know, my
Suck it up and
son
do it,
had a
right?
seizure last year, And that was one of the things that the doctor asked him, was he
How many
getting enough
hours of
sleep?
sleep, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so.
That's not HIPAA compliant to be throwing somebody's medical records out on there.
I'm authorized.
You're authorized?
I'm authorized.
Yeah, hey, but
Until he
power
turns
attorney.
18.
Power of attorney.
Right.
Hey, but yeah, sleep is vital.
Yeah.
And
People laugh at me because I go to sleep. Because matter of fact, we about to wrap this up so I can go home and get
and
it.
they gonna tell you you're lazy. They gonna tell you you're lazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta get that stuff.
Hey, stop eating all the hot chips and all of that and go to sleep and get
And
off
run
this
it.
Well,
Fortnite.
stay on
Yeah,
playing Fortnite.
Right.
Texting.
If you're not up studying for a test, take your butt to sleep.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause
wait. So, since your son's a little older now, but when does he go to sleep? Do you know?
Well, that's the thing. I go to sleep early. So like the
You
other
don't know.
morning, I woke up and when I was leaving for work, I go in his room. He's still on they fell asleep on the FaceTime. So the FaceTime is still up, and she sleep and he sleep. And
You go to sleep. No, you hang up first.
I know how
Exactly.
he used to be on 17. Now we didn't have FaceTime back
Right.
then, but we
But then when I hung it
barely
up,
had cell phones back then.
and I
Right.
left at 6 something.
Yeah.
But when I hung it up, it said I guess they started the FaceTime at 1:27 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's a no-no.
Oh,
That's
when I
an
popped him
L
upside the
on
head to
both
wake
of
him up.
them.
Like, what are you doing on
What
FaceTime?
time do your kids go to sleep, KT?
9:30.
About 9:30, 10,
Yeah.
Okay, and they gotta get up at what time?
6, 7.
Okay, so they're getting their 8
Yeah,
hours.
they're getting
They're
there.
getting 8
Yeah.
hours for sure.
Yeah.
So they don't have any issues like trying to get out of bed or being lazy because you would notice like, nah, they've been staying up even though they said they're going to bed. They're just laying there and doing something else.
So what kind of conversation are they having at 1 o'clock in the morning? You
I don't
gotta
even
go
know.
get that.
I don't
Yeah,
even
hey,
know.
girl,
I
what it
don't-
look like?
Baby.
I know.
What it look like?
My mama told me it ain't
Nothing
nothing
open past 11 o'clock
open past midnight but
The
legs. So
at 7-Eleven.
so you already know.
Uh-huh.
It's easy to function at that age though with like 3 hours. of sleep.
Absolutely. You can
It
get
is.
away with it.
I used-
For a while.
I-
And
for a
then,
while. Yeah,
and then after a
I
while.
used to stay up on the
it
phone till like 4 or 5, wake up at
I
7:30.
can't. Nah, I need to be
get
asleep.
I regret every minute.
I'm starting to just black out. Like I wake up the next morning.
She done knock you out, man?
No, I just be black. I get tired, man. I get tired.
I'll never wake up and not remember where you are, or not like it for like that moment, like remember where you are.
Absolutely.
Like,
Like what
oh,
day
I'm
is
at
it?
home.
I'm about to
Day
say,
is
Right.
it? Oh, yeah. I'll be in the
check
shower
your
and be
drinks
like,
before you drink, man. That's somebody that got you.
Who you been hanging around? Bill
Shut
Cosby?
up, shut up. Y'all know what I meant.
Put
Dwight
your
Howard?
money-
You been hanging around?
No, Dwight, she ain't got to worry about him.
I ain't gotta
You
worry
have to worry about Dwight,
Nah,
not her.
not me.
whoa.
Hey, what's the yeet of the week, man?
Yeet of the week. First off, we missing the
Pink
the
Power
yellow.
Ranger.
Yeah, we missing the Yellow Ranger now. Or the
No,
pink.
I'm the
The pink.
Golly,
So-
you-
Oh, you didn't see my fake LSU Tigers?
Hey, that's
That is terrible. I'm glad you're on it too. Go Tigers.
go Tigers. Hey,
This is my
if
fake
you
fake
hadn't
Chilla.
noticed, we all got the color microphones.
Does she have pink? Do you
Yeah,
have pink
she got a pink one. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, really? Oh,
Right here.
Yeah, I think she still a little recovering from too many tequilas from last
Last
year.
week,
She-
yeah.
Go
Had to give her that hot toddy recipe real quick.
Go back and listen to the footage of
Let me know how that second date went.
well,
Yeah,
she
probably
was-
saying here.
She was actually the one that found this week's Yeet of the Week. And so, University of Texas, once again, we talk about the Longhorns basketball player Andrew Jones, didn't just return to basketball competitions Tuesday. He came back and he scored 20 points, which was his career high. And he accomplished that feat in 29 minutes as the Longhorns defeated Northern Colorado 69-45 in the opener for both teams. But I know you fans out there wondering, like, man, people score 20 all the time. So what's so great about Andrew Jones? Well, Mr. Jones is a cancer survivor.
Amen. Want me
He
to
is
do it?
actually going through chemo and is still competing at the highest level. What
Well, that's
he can
good, 'cause I know
advance
chemo
at his highest level.
Drains.
Yeah, it's draining.
It's draining, so kudos to him.
Yeah, kudos to him. He had a phenomenal game. He converted 7 out of 10 shots, including 4 out of 5 3-pointers. So the kid was on fire. So once again, we talked about it last week when we all wore our pretty pink shirts and had our little war stories, and he celebrated people. Andrew Jones. We also talked about the 4-time survivor that played football and some other people throughout this show. So Andrew Jones, congratulations, young man. That is a phenomenal performance, and you deserve it.
Yeet.
Before we go,
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Veronica Reed Hamilton. She's a coach of McKinney High School.
Okay.
And
I'll see her soon.
Yeah, no, one Saturday, she's agreed to let us come and like interview her and some of her players. So,
Nice.
Yeah, so we may go do that.
We're going like
Girls
you
Club.
would be going to McKinney High School for that?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Let's do it.
Shout out to Erica Lewis, Laura Ellis, Marcus Gilmore, Kendra Softly, Joanna Ellis,
My boy Hugh Ellis.
Brandy Robertson, Marilyn G, Clara Gutierrez, Ivy, R.N. Diva, well, I almost messed it up. Brian Little, Corbin Hall, well, I'm about to say Brandon Jones, Cynthia Robinson, and Jay King. Thank y'all for checking us out.
Yes. So, just so everybody knows, I'm just trying to contain your sadness, but I will not be here next week because next Tuesday, we're moving to Tuesdays. Gotta tell you guys that we are moving to Tuesdays starting next week, because Serge is about to go get his LeBron James on in a basketball league.
Yeah.
So we're moving to Tuesdays, but next Tuesday I will not be here because that is a scrimmage, my son's first scrimmage for basketball, the varsity team at Plano West. So go, what are they? Go Plano West. My bad. So thank you for listening to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. Follow and like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Sports Life Talk. We hope that you will join us next week on Tuesday. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check us out.
You know what this Saturday is, huh?
What's Saturday?
Bama,
It's
LSU.
Bama week, baby.
Okay.
I want both of y'all to lose. I
Hey,
want y'all to tie.
38-34 LSU. We win the game on the last possession.
All righty.
We dethrone the fight.
Burrow locking down that Heisman this
Burrow
weekend.
wins the Heisman. That's
Oh,
it.
y'all, please forget my house shoes this week.
Hey, did
I don't think anybody
y'all see
saw
the
it.
CFP? Anybody got any disagreements with how the CFP, the first college football rankings came out?
Yeah,
Clemson.
Clemson got 5 though.
I know it's.
yeah, because that's.
I know their strength of schedule.